Sometimes one of the worst things you can hear when you're struggling is, "Get it together." Hi, I'm Scarlett Classic, and welcome to Classic Advice, a mental health podcast offering guidance for resilient souls, anchoring calm amid the chaos. Get it together. Because, sometimes we get told this, and it's like, really? You don't think if I could, I would? Mental health struggles, they come with guilt and frustration and exhaustion and self-judgment. And being told to suddenly, flip that switch and fix yourself can make us feel so inadequate and so weak or broken, or like you somehow are, failing at being a human. But healing, it's not this giant transformation overnight. That's not been my experience anyways, not by a long shot. It has been struggling and crawling on days that I felt like I couldn't even, walk, let alone run. Healing sometimes looks like just, getting through the next hour, or, getting laundry done because that task just felt so tiresome and so exhausting, especially if you're dealing with depression. It saps the energy right out of you. Answering a text message when you just, are so overstimulated and you just don't want to take the call or answer the text, or taking a shower. You just trying to make it through the day is so hard sometimes. But we don't have to conquer our entire life today to still be making progress in the right direction. Sometimes we have this pressure to be okay all the time, or fix our mental health because we're tired of struggling with anxiety or depression or whatever it may be. And we feel this intense pressure to, bounce back quickly, to get over it, so to speak, to stop being so emotional or moody, or, we have this pressure to snap out of it. But, our mental health healing is not linear, at least not in my case. I'll have good days, and then I'll maybe, take 2 steps back, and then 3 steps forward, and 2 steps back, and it's this gradual move in the right direction, but it's not this light switch that we can just turn on and off. And when our nervous system is overwhelmed or stressed or anxious, depressed, emotionally exhausted, our brains will switch into, survival-focused functioning. This reduces our motivation. Our concentration is, not there. My memory got really bad. Our emotional regulation, like mood swings, can come. And in my case, I wasn't sleeping very well. Decision making can seem really hard, that we don't really know what to do, or we find ourselves making poor decisions. Our energy levels, like I mentioned with depression, like my energy levels were just, down the toilet, like it was horrible. And sometimes when someone tells us we'll get it together, that's just makes us feel so inadequate. And we can do it to ourselves too. Like, are you judging yourself for struggling? Instead of being supportive of yourself and understanding of yourself, that, I had something that was considered situational depression because of a situation that I was going through. And it lasted for a while, like a few years. It was horrible. But having that understanding with myself, saying this is something emotionally really hard, and I need to be aware of that. It's not this character flaw. It's not something wrong with you. You're not failing as a human. If you go through something really hard and then you're either in survival mode or you get anxiety from it, or you're like me and had CPTSD from it or whatever, you're not failing. You're just going through something hard. I think one of the biggest mindset shifts is realizing that we don't have to fix everything, that I didn't have to fix myself, quote unquote, today. That it was going to be a process, it was going to be a journey, and I've come to the conclusion that it's going to be a journey that I'm on for the rest of my life. Not to be like, depressing, saying that you're never going to get any better. I feel great now, but my mental health is something that I'm constantly trying to improve and constantly trying to find better coping techniques so that I stay healthy, so that I don't slip back into bad coping techniques and slip back into depression or anxiety or panic attacks. Those are bad. I don't want to go back there. So by me saying that it's going to be something that I'm on a journey on for the rest of my life, it's just because I want to stay this way. I want to stay healthy, and I want you to stay healthy. Sometimes we just have to focus on that next step. Getting out of bed or getting something to eat or doing the laundry or, going outside for 5 minutes because the sun is so, that sunshine is so, and nature is so good for you. Sometimes these small, consistent actions that are sustainable, they give us the small wins, and celebrate the small wins. Don't be extreme in the all or nothing thinking, that black and white thinking. But, take the small wins. And small progress, rarely feels dramatic. But over time, we can really see the changes that happen. What if today didn't need to be perfect to count as a win? What if you didn't need to be perfect today? You just needed to show up and, do one thing. Do one thing a tiny bit better today than you did yesterday. Because sometimes that strength, doesn't really feel like conquering anything, but just continuing, crawling when you can't walk, and surviving these difficult seasons of life is a strength. And today you have survived 100% of your bad days, so you will survive the next one too. You can. You that reminder, I love that quote. I know I bring it up on here quite a bit, but I just love that you survived your previous bad days. You can survive this one too. And it might not feel like you've won the day, but if you just get through the day, take that as a win. Because healing sometimes feels so frustrating because we don't feel like we're really making progress forward. We want that certainty. We want to see the finish line. We want to, have the big win. But sometimes this growth, it happens very quietly and very gradually, and so gradually sometimes that we don't even see our own progress going forward. But it's through that consistency of doing the good habits, of, leaning into our better coping techniques instead of, lapsing into the bad ones. Surviving the days that you thought would break you. I have been there more times than I care to count. I honestly thought that if I ever went through a divorce, it would break me. I honestly thought that so many of the things that I went through in my past would definitely break me. Did they knock me down for a time? Yes. Did they, give me mental health issues? Yes. But did I get through them? Yeah. Did I survive them? Yes. Did I learn how to get over my mental health issues? Like I said, for the most part, we're a lot better than where we were. Or me, I'm a lot better than where I was. And I'm still learning like you, but I'm better than I was. And we're all human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to, lapse sometimes. We're going to have bad days where we feel like it's too much. And there's no shame in that. It's a part of being human, and it's a part of life, and just crawling is okay. What if our worth didn't have to depend on how quickly we recovered, but on just showing up and crawling and continuing? Can you allow yourself to be a, work in progress without that turning into, self-judgment or self-hatred or feeling like you're not enough? Because we don't need to have our whole life, together today. We just need to keep going. We just need to keep crawling. Today is heavy. If today your mental health feels exhausting, if you feel so frustrated with yourself because you thought you would be better by now, then I understand, and I see you, and I get you. Just take a breath, because you don't need to transform magically overnight. Forget that. Get it together. Just get through today. And tomorrow, we'll try again. And if tomorrow we can only crawl to, then that's okay. We will come to a day where we can get up and walk again. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Advice, guidance for resilient souls. May you stay anchored in what steadies you, rise resilient through what challenges you, and carry calm into whatever comes next. Take care. Love you. Bye.